Hello, everyone. I'm on live to do my Friday video teaching. If this is your first time tuning into one of my videos and you don't know who I am, my name is Stef. I'm a psychic soul alignment coach. What I do is I work with spiritual entrepreneurs to help them to create their highest level of success, influence, impact, and income through very deep levels of healing. Every Friday I come on here onto my YouTube channel, usually at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, to do a video teaching that I'm guided to speak on as per my spirit guides. And today's video is on how taking personal responsibility is a secret to turning your life around. And this past week, I actually did a very similar video teaching message thing in my Facebook community as well. So I do have a free Facebook community that you can come and join. If you'd like to come and hang out with us there, you're more than welcome to. Just go to the links in the description of this video to follow me on all the social media things, as well as finding the link to my Facebook community. But the video that I did in my community this past Wednesday was on how true personal power comes from taking personal responsibility. So the message today is similar, but I'm just going to trust that it's going to come out differently and in the way in which it needs to for the highest good of all. And I will have that other video teaching from my group here on YouTube at some point. So if you don't want to wait a month or so for that video to come up, maybe I'll upload it sooner. Then come and join us there, because that's how you get to see those video teachings right away instead of having to wait for them. So taking personal responsibility is how the secret to turning your life around. Okay. So if you've been following me for a while now, you may have seen all my ups and downs along the way. I have been reflecting a lot recently on just how far I've come and everything I had to do to get to where I am today. And over and over and over again, the recurring theme that would come up for me is taking personal responsibility to change my life, to turn things around, to step into my power and actually do something about my circumstances, the situations I was in, or whatever else was troubling me, or being able to get to that next level. Like, I had to step into my personal responsibility. And that's the thing, is that, a lot of times it's very easy for us as humans to want to, place responsibility on things outside of ourselves and think that, it's because the credit card collectors are calling us that we can never seem to move forward, or because we got laid off from our job and nobody wants to hire us that we can't seem to move forward, or whatever it is, right? And we blame all of these external things, and quite oftentimes allow ourselves to fall into a state of victimhood where we feel helpless about our circumstances or the situations affecting us, and that we feel we can't do anything about it, right? And that couldn't be further from the truth. You always have the power to turn your life around, to get yourself out of those very troubling circumstances or situations that you're in, but you really have to step into your power. And I don't want to negate anyone's pain or challenges or suffering or whatever they may be going through right now that's really impacting them. I don't want to negate that in any way, because I've lived through many different experiences where I totally get that, and that definitely has validity to it. It's definitely, true in that moment and what you're experiencing. I'm not denying that. But in order to get out of those situations, whether it's getting out of an abusive relationship, getting out of debt, turning your business around and finally creating success around it, creating a business or a career that you truly love, rather than continue to feel like your work sucks the life out of you, or being around a dysfunctional family, having that in your life, whatever it is that's really, really affecting you, and maybe, is a rock bottom state that you find yourself in, you always have the power to get yourself out of that. You always have the power to turn your life around. Hope is never completely lost there. You always have the possibility to shift things, but in order to do that, you need to take personal responsibility. Because when you take personal responsibility, you really do step into your power, and you're then more able and capable and willing to do something about that, right? And sometimes, having these really negatively impactful situations or states or whatever it is that's affecting you is just the catalyst that you need to move yourself forward, but you have to take personal responsibility over that. So let me give you a good example of that. Many years ago, I think it was in 2012 or 2013, I can't remember. I was dating someone, and long story short, the relationship was great for 6 months, and there was a future there. And then from one day to the next, like, that relationship just ended unexpectedly. I didn't understand. I went through really difficult time, and that relationship ended. And the way the person treated me in the end caused a lot of anger and frustration inside of myself. And in order to cope with the heartbreak, I decided to go and do something nice for myself. I decided to, for the first time ever, go and buy myself high-end makeup, because I've always wanted to have that. And I decided, you know what, this is what I need to do to feel better, to move forward with my life. I'm just going to go get my makeup and feel pretty and look great. And that's what I'm going to do. So I did that. And I, was good for about a couple of weeks. But then next thing I knew, my 50-inch TV broke, like, unexpectedly. The screen just stopped displaying the image, even though the audio was still working. And this happened even though I hardly used the TV in 2 years. Like, it was practically new, and somehow it just broke. And then, like, a few days later or something, my laptop, this one that I'm recording on, that I had just bought, less than a year before, maybe like 10 months before, broke as well. And I had just spent all this money on this makeup, and I didn't have the money to repair the TV and the laptop because they weren't honoring the warranty on the laptop. Here in Peru, they're very sneaky when it comes to warranting. It really is not like in the United States, where people are just happy to replace your things. Here they're like, no, you didn't get your computer repaired soon enough, so that's on you, and you have to pay for it. That's the situation I dealt with. And so, long story short there, basically, I just became so saddened and overwhelmed, because that was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I started reflecting on just how hard my life was, how hard my life had been up until that point, and all the challenges that I had to face along the way, with being raised in a very abusive home, seeing my mother abused, having challenges at home growing up, being deported back to Peru, starting from zero by myself, money struggles, while I was living in Peru on my own, trying to support myself to the best of my ability. And then this unexpected relationship. And now, these things happening with, the computer and the TV. And I just got myself into this downward spiral, started recounting every bad thing that happened to me. And I just decided I was tired of living. I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to keep living life if that's what life was going to be. If life was going to continue to just be more suffering and more heartbreak and hardship. I didn't want anything to do with that, because I had a family member in my life who showed me, who was a perfect example of how much living a life of suffering really sucked. And I was like, I don't want to end up like them at their age. If that's what I'm expecting for my, life here, I don't even want anything to do with it. And I really contemplated very seriously taking my life then. I really was determined to just end it, because I couldn't deal with this anymore. And that wasn't the first time I contemplated suicide, but that was the first time that I was really, really serious about it. And I had this whole plan in my head of what I was going to do. I was going to take some pills and just go to sleep. And, I had enough money for my funeral so they could bury me. And, someone was going to take my cat, and I was done. I was ready to check out. That was a very low point for me. But I'm a person that tries to do their very best to stay true to their word. And I had made certain arrangements before that. I had planned to meet up with a friend to take them out to lunch, because this friend had helped me to get some extra classes teaching English. I used to be an English teacher. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to take this friend out to lunch to thank them. I'm not going to cancel on them. And I'm going to then do it right after lunch. That's my last meal. Screw it. That's what I'm going to do. And I even had called my mom, I think the day before, to tell her, like, this is what I'm going to do. Do you have any last words for me? Because I was just that decided. And I didn't care. I didn't feel anything while she was crying her eyes out, begging me to not do, that. But I just didn't care anymore. I was like, I don't even care about whatever you're feeling right now. This is about me. And that's what happens a lot of times when you're in that state. You just don't care anymore. You're just numb and you're just done. But I went out to this lunch with this friend, and in the middle of the lunch, for some reason, I just burst down and broke down into tears. And I started telling them everything that I had gone through, everything that I had been experiencing up until that point. And I revealed to them how I just felt so ashamed of so many things in my life, and being an illegal immigrant in the US was one of them. That was a shame that I carried for so long that I barely ever shared with anyone. Only my very, very immediate circle knew back then my situation. And I shared with them that, and the heartbreak of the relationship, and then the things breaking, and how hard my life had been. And I was just sick of it. And I was ready to just move on. For some reason, I just burst out with this, in front of this person, and told them everything. And I never do that, ever, ever. That was like divine intervention or something, because I never, ever do that kind of thing. And then that person shared with me their story. And this is why I really, truly believe in the power of storytelling. It is so powerful. It is life-changing. And we're all really here to share our stories and the things that we have gone through and that we've been able to overcome, to give other people hope, to give other people the courage, the strength to keep going. And that's why I share everything I go through along my journey, especially with the people in my Facebook community. They've seen me cry so many times along the way, and the difficulties I've had, because I really feel like it's important to show that. I'm not the kind of person that feels like I need to present myself as perfect, or that I never have any problems, because I don't believe in that. I think that's very dangerous to do. I think it's important to really show the real person and their challenges and lead by example, because we don't have to be perfect, but we have to do our best to show our people that look to us for support, for leadership, that we're doing our best out here too. And so that person shared with me all of their difficulties and just major challenges. And I always encourage my clients to never feel like their pain is invalid, because we all go through difficult things, and trauma is very like your own personal perspective of what trauma is for you is still valid. Okay, your pain is still valid. Just because maybe you didn't see some extreme situation happen in your life doesn't mean that your pain is any valid. I always encourage my clients to honor what they're feeling and what they have been impacted by, and to never think it's anything less. But in that moment, hearing that person's story, I was like, oh my God, why am I complaining? It literally put it into perspective for me in that moment. Like, that was my thought process in that moment, was like, here I am, sad about this, and this, and this, and this. And this person has gone through some stuff I haven't gone through. I can't even imagine myself going through right now. I don't even know if I would have gotten through alive going through that person's experiences. I just was so in awe of this person's tremendous strength and courage for having gone through all of that in their moment, and where they were in that moment with me today, in that present moment, and how their life had completely turned around for the better, because they never gave up, because they kept going, because they just kept somehow pulling themselves back up. And I was inspired. I was truly inspired of how that person turned their life around, and that they were in such a good place. They lived in a mansion. They still do live in a mansion here in Lima, and they have a really good life, a really loving partner. They have, their needs met when there was a time where, they were on the street. And I decided in that moment, I'm not going to continue to feel sorry for myself. I'm not going to continue to feel like the stuff that I'm going through is the end of the world, and that I'm never going to be able to make my dreams come true. I'm going to pick myself up. I'm done with feeling like crap. I'm going to move forward. I'm never going to allow myself to get to this dark place ever again, to the point where I get this close to taking my life. And I'm just going to keep moving. And I'm not going to stop until I make my dreams come true. And I literally It's like I literally had something on my shoulders that I just dropped in that moment. And I decided I would move forward with my life and change it and not stop until I got what I wanted. I took personal responsibility to turn my life around, and I moved forward. And that was a very powerful moment in my life that literally changed it so much. And it's a moment that I've had to go to again and again when I have on my journey contemplated wanting to take my life, because my spiritual path has been very difficult. I've had a lot of challenges, and there have been many low moments in my journey, because that's part of what I came to live here in this experience, to be able to do the work that I do. And every time I wanted to throw in the towel, every time I wanted to quit, or I felt like it was too hard, or I felt like I could never get myself out of those difficult situations, I thought back on that moment, the promise I made to myself, that I wouldn't do that ever again. And I held strong to my purpose, to what I knew I was born to do. And I would pick myself back up, and I would start applying everything that I have been learning to get myself out of the holes that I felt I had been thrown in. And I would move forward and get myself out of those difficult situations and reclaim my power and do what I knew I had to do to turn my life around. If I hadn't taken personal responsibility over my success, over my decisions, in the direction that I wanted to take my life in, over what I had maybe manifested on some level to give me certain experiences and lessons, if I hadn't taken personal responsibility over that, I probably wouldn't be here today, because I probably would have felt like the world was just too much for me, like life was just too much for me, and I wouldn't be doing this work, and you wouldn't be seeing me here. But I had to pick myself up and try to muster every ounce of strength that I had to keep moving forward. We all have the power to turn our lives around. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. You always can pick yourself back up. And you need to take personal responsibility over that. It's okay if you fall. It's okay if you're at rock bottom. It's okay if right now your life is a hot freaking mess and you don't know where you're going to live tomorrow. You don't know how you're going to eat. You don't know what's going to happen. I've been there. I have been there, and I get it, and I know how scary it is. I really do understand, and I have so much compassion for those of you going through very difficult times. Maybe it looks like that. Maybe you lost someone you really love and you're just in grief. Or something else is happening in your life. But whatever is going on in your life, I want you to know that you have the power to turn it all around. But you need to take personal responsibility over that. You need to decide that you're ready to turn things around, that you're ready to go all in, that you're ready to just move in that direction no matter what. Take that first step and keep moving forward until you get there, until you reach your goal, until life is what you want it to be. You have to decide that. You have to take personal responsibility over that, because it's your life. Nobody can turn it around for you. And even if someone could magically just all of a sudden, wave a wand, give you that money that you needed, or that health that you want, or that relationship, or whatever it is that you're asking for, and just magically make it happen. At the end of the day, when more challenges come along the way, because that's what life is about, we're here to grow, we're here to learn, and things are going to always come up. Especially with this whole spiritual journey, there's so much darkness coming up right now, and continue to come up, and lots of changes are going to happen as the years go by, as the months unfold. And it's going to rock our world. It's going to rock your life completely. And the only thing that's going to really help you to navigate that is by you really being in your power and taking personal responsibility. That's what's going to allow for you to navigate whatever happens in life again and again with so much more ease and grace, because you see your power. When you take personal responsibility, you're owning your power. You're refusing to be a victim. You're refusing to feel helpless. You're refusing to give into the illusions that say that all hope is lost, and you're leaning into your truth, that it's all okay and it's all going to work out, and you may not see it, but you're moving forward. And so when you take personal responsibility, you have the power then to change your life. But you need to really own that. That's what's going to help you navigate your own personal challenges and things that are to come. And nothing will really shake you or shake you easily as you move forward, because you have taken personal responsibility. It's not something that's easy, because we have to oftentimes take personal responsibility over things that we don't want to take personal responsibility for. We don't want to own up to the fact that maybe we have had our hand in creating certain difficult situations in our lives, that maybe we haven't made the best decisions and now these are the results. Sometimes that's not easy to admit to, but it's necessary if you want to change it. And so you have to take personal responsibility over that. And when you do that, that's when you're in your power to completely change your life, to completely get yourself out of whatever you have been in. And your life can change so much in such a short amount of time when you take personal responsibility. It really can. And this is my message for you today. I really hope that this has helped you. I didn't know what to expect from this message. But if you're watching this, whenever you're watching it, I imagine you need it. You need this reassurance that it's all going to be okay, that you're going to move forward, that you're going to be able to come out of this, to not quit. Maybe this is the message that you need to keep going forward, and that you're going to be able to look back on, when the time has gone by, to say, oh my God, thank God I saw that message. So it's just what I needed to get me back into gear and move my life and turn it around, move my life forward and get things back into alignment again. Never give up on your life, on your potential, your dreams. You can make it all come true, but you have to take personal responsibility. So recognize today where maybe you're not taking personal responsibility for your life. If you want your life to completely turn around, you need to recognize right now where maybe you're not really in your full power. Dang it. I wasn't expecting to get all emotional in this video, but it happens. If you're in a difficult situation where your life is just completely out of alignment, the first step to turning that around is recognizing where you're not fully in your power. Or maybe you're still putting that responsibility on other people, situations, things. You're still allowing yourself to be made helpless or feel helpless and hopeless and powerless. You need to recognize that. And then you need to decide that you're not going to do that anymore. That you're not going to give in. You're not going to give in to the illusion of the matrix, of your ego, of the darkness, of whatever it is. You need to decide that your light, your love is more powerful than all of that. And that you're going to move forward. And now that you're taking more personal responsibility, the universe is going to conspire in your favor to assist you, because you're saying you're done, you're fed up, you're ready to embrace more of your true power and divinity. And the universe is naturally going to assist you in that process. That is my message for you today. I really hope that this has helped you. If it has, give this video a thumbs up, a like wherever you're watching from. Subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more of these messages. I usually do teachings, but today was a message. And yeah, just feel free to go through the videos on my channel to learn more about spiritual entrepreneurship, healing, mindset, manifesting, all the things that I talk about. And if you want to start taking personal responsibility over your own healing, then I encourage you to download my 101 Ways to Know You Need Healing Work checklist. I will drop that in the comments of this video after I'm done with this video. It will be there pinned to the top. And that is a checklist that you can go through to help you bring to your awareness where you have a lot of things that are highly indicative that you might have deeper healing work you need to do. And I will also be providing you with some additional free resources when you sign up for that checklist as well, if you want to receive that. So that is all I have to offer you for today. I really hope that that has helped you. I send you all so much love. Stay strong. You got this. And just don't quit. Your life can really turn around in such a short amount of time. You just got to keep going. Take your personal responsibility. All right, guys, thank you so much for your time. Take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.